Hey guys, what's up? It's me back again. I'm sorry, I'm slightly tired, but I'm recording Romance Thursdays. Woohoo! For Fridays, Saturdays, and possibly Sundays. Fridays is Fantasy Fridays, which I will be reading this book to you, Hush Hush, by Becca Fitzpatrick. And then once I'm done with that book, excuse me for the yawns, I will possibly be reading To Tame a Wolf that my friend gave me to read, not to keep. Now, Saturdays and possibly Sundays. Saturdays is Scary Story Saturday. I figured out a cute name for it now. And then possibly Sunday would be Scary Story Sunday. So, depending on if I can do that. I'm very tired. But hey, gotta get this recording done. Okay, so for Romance Thursday, I decided to read Dating Game by Danielle Steele. Because, well, my mom loves her, and I really want to like her a lot, but I just don't think so. And yes, I'm taking the cover off. Because, hello? I will keep a playlist for all the books I read, chapter by chapter by chapter. So this might take me a while, which is good. Yeah, like 32 chapters, I believe. Nope, 33. Okay, 34 chapters, 35. It might take me a while. I'm just skimming through. Okay. Here we go. Let me get started now. Chapter 1. It was a perfect, balmy May evening just days after spring had hit the East Coast with irresistible appeal. The weather was perfect, winter had vanished literally overnight, birds were singing, the sun was warm, and everything in the Armstrongs' Connecticut garden was in bloom. The entire week had been blessed with the kind of weather that made everyone slow down, even in New York. Couples strolled, lunch hours stretched, people smiled, and in Greenwich that night, Piers Armstrong decided to serve dinner outside on the flagstone patio they had just redone near the pool. She and Peter were given a dinner party on a Friday night, which was rare for them. They did most of their entertaining on Saturday, so Peter didn't have to rush home from work in the city on Friday night. But the caterers had only been available on this particular Friday. They had weddings booked for every Saturday night through July. It was harder for Peter, but he'd been a good sport when she told him about the Friday night plan. Peter indulged her most of the time. He always had. He liked making life easy for her. God, I hate myself right now. He liked making life easy for her. It was one of the myriad things she loved about him. They had just celebrated their 24th anniversary in March. It was hard to believe sometimes how the years had flown by and how full they had been. Megan, their eldest, had graduated from Vassar the year before, and at 23 she had recently taken a job in LA. She was interested in all aspects of film and had landed a job as a production assistant with a movie studio in Hollywood. She was barely more than a gopher, as she admitted openly, but she was thrilled with just being there. I wanted. I'm sorry, you're going to be seeing that a lot. I'm slapping myself to stay awake. Okay, as she admitted openly, but she was thrilled with just being there. I wanted to be a producer one day. William, their son, had just turned 18, was graduating in June. He was going to UC Berkeley in the fall. It was hard to believe that their kids were grown. It seemed only minutes before that she had been changing diapers and carpooling, taking Meg to ballet, and went to hockey games. And in 3 months he'd be gone. He was due in Berkeley the week before the Labor Day weekend. Paris made sure that the table had been set properly. The caterers were reliable and had a good eye. They knew her kitchen well. She and Peter liked to entertain, and Paris used them frequently. Sorry, something popped up onto my phone, which I'm recording from, by the way, so yeah. She and Peter liked to entertain, and Paris used them frequently. They enjoyed their social life over the years. They had collected an eclectic assortment of interesting friends. She set the flowers that she had arranged herself on the table. She had cut a profusion of multicolored peonies. Sorry, it's a flower. I'm not very good with flower names. The tablecloth was immaculate, and the crystal and silver gleamed. Peter probably wouldn't notice, especially if he was tired when he got home. But what he sensed more than he saw was the kind of home she provided him with. Paris was impeccable about detail. She created an atmosphere of warmth and elegance that people flourished in. She did it not only for him and their friends, but for herself as well. Peter provided handsomely for her. He'd been generous with her and the children. He had been very successful over the years. He was a partner in a lucrative law firm specializing in corporate accountants, and at 51 he was the managing partner. The house he bought for them 10 years ago before was large and beautiful. It was a handsome stone house in one of the more luxurious neighborhoods in Greenwich, Connecticut. They talked about hiring a decorator, but in the end she had decided to decorate it herself and loved doing it. Peter was thrilled. Oh, God, really? Peter was thrilled with the results. They also had one of the prettiest gardens in Greenwich. She'd done such a great job with the house that he often teased her and told her she should become a decorator, and most people who saw the house agreed. But although artistic, her interests had always been similar to his. She had a solid respect and understanding for the business world. They had married as soon as she graduated from college. as she graduated from college, and she had gone to business school and graduated with an MBA. She had wanted to start a small business of her own, but got pregnant in her second year of business school and had decided to stay home with their children instead. And she'd never had any regrets. Peter supported her in her decision. There was no need for her to work, and for 24 years she had felt competent and fulfilled, devoting herself full-time to Peter and their children. She baked cookies, organized school affairs, school fairs, ran the school auction every year, made costumes by hand at Halloween, spent countless hours at the orthodontist with them, and generally did what many other wives and mothers did. She didn't need an MBA for any of it, but her extensive understanding of the corporate world and her lively interest in it made it a lot easier when talking to Peter late at night about the cases he was working on. If anything, it even made them closer. She was and had been the perfect wife for him, and he had profound respect for the way she had brought up their children. She had turned out to be everything he had expected her to be, and Paris was equally pleased with him. They still shared laughter on Sunday mornings as they snuggled beneath the covers for an extra half hour on cold, wintry days. God. Yeah, I'm gonna be beating myself up lately. Because I'm tired. I should have recorded this yesterday, like on Wednesday, and not actually on Thursday. So then I don't have to push this out. I'm so tired, though. So yeah, probably be uploading on every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, possibly Sunday. She had turned out everything he had expected her to be. Paris was equally pleased with them. Okay, I already read the book. Sorry. And she still got up with him at the crack of dawn every weekday and drove him to the train, and they came back to take the kid. I just want to hurt myself so badly. Because I'm yawning. Okay. And then came back to take the kids to school until they were old enough to drive themselves, which had come far too quickly for her. And the only dilemma she had now was trying to figure out what she was going to do with herself when Wim left for Berkeley in August. She could no longer imagine a life without teenagers splashing in the pool in summer or turning the house upside down as they overflowed the downstairs playroom on the weekends. For 23 of the 24 years of her marriage, her life had entirely and unreservedly revolved around them, and it saddened her to know that those days were almost over for good. She knew that once Wim left for college, life as she had known it for so long would be over. He would come home for the occasional weekend and holidays, as Meg had while she was at Vizar, only less so because he would be so far away on the West Coast. Once Meg had graduated, she had all but disappeared. She had gone to New York for 6 months, moved into an apartment with 3 friends, and then left for California as soon as she found the job she wanted in LA. From now on, they would see her on Thanksgiving and Christmas if they were lucky. God only knew what would happen once she got married, not that she had any plans. Paris knew only too well that in August, when Wim left, her life would be forever changed. Well, since I'm yawning so much, I'm probably going to stop it here. I'm only on page 4, sadly. I will probably record these ahead of time. And, no, I won't. Because I need my sleep. But yeah. I hope you enjoyed that. Sorry. I hope you enjoyed me reading Dating Game by Danielle Steele. Give this video a like to know if you want me to read more of it. And as I said, I will possibly for Sunday, but I will most likely be uploading on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with these stories to tell to you. Now, hit that subscribe button if you want to see, so you don't miss any of my content. Sorry, I'm like all over the place at the moment because I'm still sleeping. Sorry. So, bye!